Australian to do so. 2 years later, he won the inaugural Australian 500cc Grand Prix at Phillip Island, cementing a position as a household name in Australia. This year, he undertook another seemingly impossible goal to own and operate his own touring car racing team. Just 8 months on, the Coca-Cola team is now a hot contender for the Tooheys 1000, and Wayne spoke with us recently about his chances.
The challenge has been to slow myself down. Coming from Grand Prix bike racing, everything happens a lot faster and a lot more precise, and these touring cars are pretty big and heavy cars, and everything happens a lot slower, and obviously you've got to be a lot more patient with the car, and setup of the car is very important. So for me, the challenge has been to really understand the car, and second, from my personal point of view, is to be able to slow myself down to actually the speed of the vehicle, and that's been the biggest challenge for me. Well, I took this task on not from an ego point, just to own my own race team. I wanted to establish an engineering company or a business out of this. And as I said, for me, I'm looking for really a bit of enjoyment, a bit of fun, and I enjoy racing cars. I enjoy the engineering side of it. And I just found that here's an opportunity to build a small company for myself, and hopefully that will carry me through till when I retire. And the other thing is that car racing is a lot safer than motorcycles. So I found that also touring cars, you can race till you're, 55, 60 years old, really, if you want to, like some of the drivers out here. And it gives me really an all-new life again, a whole new career. And I'm starting as a young boy again, really, in a new career. So it gives me another opportunity in life.
The two Tooheys 1000 races that you've done have both been pretty awesome events. They've been weather interrupted, the place has turned into an ice skating rink from 1 minute to the next. Has that made it particularly difficult?
It was the first season. I was very inexperienced, and the car I don't think was a very competitive car, and obviously then the heavens opened up and it poured, and then a lot of fog turned up, so I had sort of all sorts of initiation, I suppose, into my first Bathurst, but it was challenging. And to tell you the truth, driving in the fog scared the hell out of me, but I hung in there. I just tried to not have any accidents. And of course last year there was a little bit of rain the last couple of hours, but not really a major problem. Most of the day was running the dry. So the first one was very difficult. The last year was a lot easier. Obviously I had more experience, so I'm hoping this year we can cash in with all that experience and come away with a win. I always put it down to a percentage level, and I always say that motorcycle performance, it's sort of 70% of the result is the rider and 30% is machine. And it's a complete reversal in cars. If you haven't got the car set up and you haven't got the car, obviously, that works well for you, you haven't got the grip level and obviously the horsepower, as I said, you can be Ayrton Senna and, or anyone that have a fantastic ability and not come away with the result. It's absolutely crucial to have a very competitive car underneath you.
Do you think that some of the criticism that people level at you, that you're an angry young man, is unfounded?
Well, yes, I think so. I think that they probably don't know me enough. I think also that I didn't get to where I am being a nice guy as well. Obviously, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to push hard. All winners aren't great guys. Winners are people who want to get on with the job and are obsessed by winning, and to do that and to win, you've got to be aggressive, you've got to push hard, and obviously that upsets a lot of people along the way. I guess that a lot of teams have probably found me hard and brash and rather pushy. But then again, as I said, I didn't come here to make friends, I come here to try and win races.
What's Wayne Gardner's finest attribute?
I guess my level of competitiveness. I don't like to give up, and I'm a very, very determined person. And, if people say that you can't do something, I like to go out and prove them wrong, and that to me is probably my finest thing.
Flip side of the coin, what's his worst attribute?
Getting involved in controversy. Probably politics, I don't like that. Probably the worst side of me is I never know when to give in. And I think that can be my attribute and can be also a negative part of me as well. I just never know when to stop, and I probably pushed too hard as well. Well, I'd like to win the Australian Touring Car Championship. That would be an absolute goal for me. Obviously to try and win Bathurst again, and I'd like to look at, in the future, as a long-term venture, this Asia-Pacific 2-litre series. I'd like to be able to get set up in the future where we can run not only in Australia with a 2-litre program, but through all the East Asia market. And that to me would be more of an international scale, and it's something that I'd look forward to and something that I'm very much used to as from travelling around the world with bikes. Well, a lot of people around me, a lot of spectators come and say, oh, please, Wayne, go back bike racing. And there was a period last year or mid-season when I did want to go back Grand Prix racing. I'd been heckled and called names and had lots of offs and punted off by other drivers, and I figured that touring car racing isn't for me and I should go back to Grand Prix bikes, and obviously I can go back and achieve a lot of money and be up the front, and I really still believe if I wanted to go back I could be up there even winning still. I did finish at the top and I was still winning races at the top when I retired, but I just felt that my heart wasn't anymore and time to move on.
Yes, looking forward to seeing Wayne Gardner in action at the Tooheys 1000. It's coming up very soon, Sunday, October 2nd, the day after the AFL Grand Final. Check your local guides for details. We're back with...
Can you see where you're going? Because if you can't, there's a good chance you won't get there. So make sure you keep your windscreen clean. And remember, there's two sides to it. If you're a safe driver, over 30, and haven't had an accident in the last 3 years, you may be eligible for great rewards on your car insurance from FAI. So call FAI on 13 1000. And remember, drive safely. It's a road, not a racetrack.